Yo, 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 yo. More light, everybody. Thank you for tapping into another episode of Unbiased Opinions. Today, I'm your host, the spiritual wanderer Suave. Trey is not in today. He has some other stuff to do. But I'm with you guys, so hopefully you guys could be my co-host today. But I also got our BTS person, the person working behind the scenes, RyRy in the building.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Yes, I'll be definitely tapping it in with y'all to see what you guys think on some of these topics today. Because, man, some crazy stuff's been happening lately. But we are at our 50th episode. And I just want to say I appreciate everybody who's been, like, tapping in, helping us out, sharing. Like I said, we got the YouTube out to, like, 400 people now. The TikTok's been growing. We've been getting a lot of feedback on that. So, yeah, people been hitting me up, chiming in on, like, what topics we should talk about and stuff. So I definitely appreciate everybody who's been here, and I'm glad to have made it to episode 50. It feels good, you know? It feels good to make it to the 50th episode. I wish Trey was here so we could celebrate with y'all, but I'm here to celebrate with y'all. So, yeah.
You get that.
And we got sounds in the building. We got sounds in the background. But, yeah, the first thing I kind of wanted to touch on was there's an issue that happened with the Dalai Lama recently. I know y'all probably seen that in the media where the Dalai Lama asked to a little boy to suck his tongue or something like that. And people thought it was like, people was like defending it. And I don't know how I feel about that. You know, like after seeing the thing, I was like, this is crazy that we're in a world now where I mean, it happens a lot though, actually. There's a lot of spiritual leaders out there that do that, you know, that actually have a thing for little kids. I don't know what the infatuation is or whatever, but that's crazy to me. That is crazy that we get that. But I wonder why it's spiritual leaders that seem that they're more on the scene or more inclined on doing that. Like, what is it behind spiritual leaders that make that a thing? Like, I don't know. What you think, Ryan? What you think on that?
Well, Alante says that man probably got.
He probably don't know who you're talking to.
He got dementia. Knows who he's talking. He don't even know who he's talking to.
I mean, I can see that. Nah, I don't know. For him to blatantly say it, but at the same time, I don't know. Maybe he was just. I think he just said, "Forget it." I think he was like, "Hey, we in here now. I don't care. Cameras on. I'm going to go for it." You don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to shoot my shot and see what happens. And he wasn't expecting that backlash. Because, I mean, when I watched the video, I was like, people are actually, like, laughing and applauding this. Like, it would have been different if it was silent. But people was like...
So they were okay with it?
It seemed like it. In the video, it seemed like they was okay with it. It seemed like people was, like, laughing and, like, joking. And I heard that they said that in their culture, like, sticking out your tongue is like some form of like respect or something like that. But he asked him to like literally suck his tongue. So I mean, that's a whole different thing. That's on another level. There's a difference between asking somebody to suck your tongue and sticking your tongue out. Like that's when it's like, that's kind of borderline inappropriate.
Yeah, you're French kitchen at that point.
Yeah, because I mean, if it was the way I'd be thinking about it was like, if it was my child, how would I react? And I think I would have been like, wait a minute, what? What'd he say? Oh no, this ain't cool. We might have to throw these hands. That's how I would have felt about it. But I mean, how would you guys feel? Anybody out there who's a parent, like, how would you feel? Like, if that were your child, would you think it was inappropriate? Would you have a problem with it? Would you not? Like, I'm curious. I want to see what the people think.
Snoop wants to know if it goes back to the topic about customs in different regions.
Oh, yeah. When he was talking about, like, how people handle things differently from different countries and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I'm curious. I don't know. To be honest, I think being that people from that country had a problem with it, there has to be a level of inappropriate to it. It would have been different if like everybody from the country was like, that's cool. But it seemed like people in the country had a problem with it too. And was like, it's inappropriate. and that's why he had to apologize. So he had to make a public apology. And I feel like once you had to get to that level, because if it was like part of his culture, then that's what should have been reiterated. Like, this is part of the culture. This is how we do it over here. This is how we handle things. Like, he should have stood 10 toes down on it. But I feel like he knew it was inappropriate. I think, like I said, I think he wasn't expecting the backlash. So I definitely think it's different from a cultural thing. Maybe the sticking out the tongue part, but the extra, yeah, I think he probably realized he went a little far with it. Like, nah.
Rory wants to know what you were talking about.
We're basically talking about the situation of the Dalai Lama and him asking a boy to suck his tongue. And I'm just wondering how parents would feel about it. Like, Snoop's in here. So Snoop, as a parent, like, how would you feel if, like, your child was in that situation? Like,
oh, it's a problem. It's definitely a problem.
Yeah, because, I mean, you're a parent as well. So, I mean, how would you feel with your...
I'd probably fight. There's no talking. I'm not going to ask no questions. I'm not going to assume. If I've been going there and that's never been brought up,
yeah,
it's a problem.
I do. I agree with that. I think, honestly, within a lot of these religious cultures, I think it's time to have, like, a real discussion about religious leaders and their behavior. Just in general. I think that's something that needs to be discussed.
Or like the dunking of the infants.
Yeah.
The aggressive dunking.
Yeah.
Like slam them in the water.
Yeah, you know, it's to me it's a little crazy. It's going a little too far, and I think that's something that needs to be talked about. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, Snoop said he'd be pissed. No, from what I know, it wasn't even a baptism. I think it was I think he was giving thanks to the Dalai Lama. He was coming to, like, give thanks or something like that. And they were talking. He asked to give him a hug, and the Dalai Lama said, "Give me a kiss." And he went for the kiss on the mouth, and then after that, he told him to suck his tongue. I was like, wait a minute, that's a little too far there.
Yeah, he was asking for a French kiss.
Yeah,
most definitely.
I mean,
a kiss.
You went for the regular peck first, and then you went for the extra.
The
yeah,
it's ad lib.
Yeah, because you could have kept it simple with the hug. Like, if I was a parent, I'd be like, you could have kept it at the hug. You didn't need to go for the extra stuff. Kiss my kid on the mouth, and then what's all this? Yeah, that wouldn't fly with me. Yeah, I think Lori said freak nasty. Yeah, freak nasty at the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama's freak nasty. Yeah, I agree with that. I would have been like, no, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. It's I don't know what this whole thing is with being sexual around kids in the first place. Like, somebody brought up a topic of within that, talking about the Dalai Lama, they brought up a topic of, like, them having kids at drag shows as well, because they correlated that. They was like, see, this is why the world's getting so inappropriate. Like, if you have a problem with this, you should also have a problem with these kids attending these drag shows. And I was like, dang, I got to really think about that, because that is interesting. And for me personally, like, I just have a problem with anything sexual being around kids in general. So that's just in general, anything. I think that would be problematic. I don't think a kid should be exposed to anything sexual. That means stuff that we was exposed to as kids, like some of these cartoon characters being sexualized, that should have never been a thing. I think a lot of that stuff shouldn't have been a thing. But I feel like we've been moving the bar so much that the bar keeps getting further and further. So more sexualized things are starting to be accepted. So now we reached a point to where people think it's okay to touch kids, or freaking people think it's okay for kids to attend drag shows. So I just feel like that's something that we as a society need to just, if we're going to pump the brakes, we got to pump the brakes on everything and not just cherry pick which ones that we have a problem with. Like, oh, I just have a problem with this, my kids seeing drag shows. nah, you should also have a problem with this over here too, because this is a problem too. Both of them just equally as bad, in my opinion. Snoop said it's called equality. It is. Yeah, the cartoons. Lori said the cartoons they watch too. I hate these cartoons as kids. And Lori also said selective outrage is a problem, which I agree with wholeheartedly, to be honest. That's why I feel like we stand at right now. That goes on heavy. And we seen that when we was talking about what happened last week with the basketball, with the girls in the basketball team. Mm-hmm. When people was mad that girl Angel did this, but wasn't mad when Caitlyn did it. And to me, it's stuff like that. Like, people will be so accepting of some people's behavior, but not accepting of the other people's behavior, and I think that's a big problem. Cause now we see this a lot in the media. I feel like we'll go see somebody on TV and they'll get tons of backlash for stuff they say, but then we'll see somebody else say something similar and it'll get looked over. Nobody's saying nothing because it's not either that person's not as big or maybe that person is too big. I think it depends. It depends on how relevant a person is, to be honest. Yeah, let's see what y'all talking about. Snoop says, the world is so broad. The world is so broad, yeah. Now a lot of taboo things are accepted. I agree.
We said cancel culture is so trash because we should cancel everything or nothing at all.
But the thing is, at the same time, though, I feel like cancel culture is a good thing in a way, just because cancel culture helped, it kind of helped shine a light on the messed up stuff that people was doing for a minute. Because a lot of people was doing some shady stuff. Like, people used to, the misogyny used to be strong, the homophobia used to be strong, the grooming used to be strong, and I feel like it kind of shined a light on all that. Like, look what y'all over here doing, and people started to have to be accountable for their behavior. I just think people are taking it to the excessive route, and the selective outrage is making it worse because now it's like we're only choosing. I'm gonna choose this person to attack this person, and it seems more so like they want to bring people down opposed to actually exposing the behavior. Like, this is actually wrong and we have a problem with this. It's more so like, hey, I'm trying to take this person out. They famous. I can make them look bad if I say this.
And Snoop meant the word equality, not the world.
The word equality. Yeah. Okay, what did Lori say?
Yes, it's good, but then they realize once things got too personal for whichever group, then they pick and choose who is canceled and who's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, free the baby. He did no wrong. Correct. We mad at so many artists for so many different things, but you can cancel the baby for what? His dating? They say what his behavior? What is it?
I mean, they canceled. Baby got under fire for a couple of things. I think he said something homophobic too that they got on him for.
And who hasn't? Who hasn't?
But see,
Boosie has.
That's the thing.
Boosie ain't canceled.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing. It's cherry picking. We cherry pick on what we want to be outraged about, but at the same time, I feel like there's a level of why are we getting offended about certain things. I think there needs to be a level that's being crossed for it to be truly offensive to need to be canceled. Like, how homophobic is what you're saying? Is it damning to the community? How how is it that hateful that we need to shine a light on it, or is it just that you're just against it because it's not something that you vibe with?
I got a question. So how is it okay to be like, R. Kelly did this and R. Kelly did that, and people didn't want to listen to him at first, but then they started continuing to listen to him, and now all of a sudden, the year 2023, nobody really wants to listen to him like that. But he had the allegations back then. They already took him to trial. We had the tapes, but we were still listening to him.
I think it comes from the societal change, though. You know what I mean? It comes from the societal change. People was like, all right, I can still mess with it. 'Cause people, but now you're put under this light. No matter what, anybody can get it. Doesn't matter who you are now. Like it's so anybody can get canceled. So people's like timid on like what they. Some people mess. I guarantee that there's a lot of people out here that still mess with R. Kelly music, but they know they can't do that junk in public, in the public eye, because they'll get canceled.
I believe that.
Also, even just to backtrack what I said about the homophobic stuff, don't think I can condone homophobic comments. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, what's the level of offense of what somebody's saying? Because sometimes people will just be saying, I'm not that. They can be saying like, I wouldn't want my kids to be like that, or I don't want this. They have specific views because of their religion, whatever the case is. And then people will be like, well, this is homophobic, this is this, but they're not really damning the community. They're just saying, this is my views from my religion, my background, whatever. And I feel like in that case, it's more so of an education purpose. That's when you actually need to have a conversation with somebody. Like, hey, well, this is why we feel that this type of behavior is okay, opposed to like, let's cancel this person because they said what they said. They said what they said because they either have an upbringing that they came from, or they're religious, or whatever the case may be. We can't really get on them for that. But yeah, with the R. Kelly situation, I still see people. I think we was bumping R. Kelly. I wasn't bumping R. Kelly, but R. Kelly was bumping at the party. R. Kelly was bumping it at the party we was recently at this past weekend. So I ain't gonna. Whatever Wesley, you want me to read it? I'll read what Wesley said. Wesley said a few things are sick about. Wait. Wesley said a few things are sick about the Dalai Lama. One, we know the news only lets us see what they put in front of us. So this lets us know this behavior is way worse off camera. And two, this isn't the first instance of a religious leader doing something of this fashion. I hate that we pick and choose when to be outraged, though. I agree. That's why I said the thing we just touched on selective outrage. But yeah, I think, to be honest, it goes to show you though, like little things like this trickling out into the media is kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of fishy, just because it's like, imagine if it would have been looked over. Like, for example, go back to the Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears video, when they did that video basically with pedophilia and the kid, with that little kid or whatever. That video came out a long time ago. Like, it dropped a long time ago and nobody really said nothing. But once it, like, everything came to light and people was like actually putting a light, shining a light towards it, that's when everybody chose to get outraged. But there was people who watched that video that long time ago. So it's like, nobody said nothing back then. To me, that goes to show, it's like stuff like this been trickling out in the media and people just let it slide. And I feel like this could be an example of like stuff like that. Because if it would have been looked over, I wonder how many other people who feel that way would try to slide something like that in. Like, hey, maybe I can ask this little kid to do something inappropriate and they won't say nothing. And to be honest, stuff like that's just not okay in general. But I agree with what you said, Wesley, as far as like that being put out there like that. It shouldn't be. And to be honest, that junk, like I said earlier, it's been in the media for a minute. Stuff like that's been in the media for a while, or like talked about for a while. And I feel like it's something that needs to be discussed now because it happens too often with religious leaders. So I'm like, at this point, it needs to be like some type of sit down because, I mean, what y'all doing? What y'all doing in the church? I'm just curious because, I mean, stuff like that is not cool. And they say it happens a lot in Catholic churches. But I had one of my a coworker that I had. She was like strong Catholic. She is a strong Catholic. But she used to always talk about how her religion would do no wrong, and she would like talk about all the other religions, like the Muslims and Christians and all these other religions, and how wrong these other religions are, and how there's so much mess going on in these religions. And I used to just look at her like, do you know? I know you know. Like, I know you got to know what's going on. Like, you can't just say that because we've heard what happens in that church. Like, it's not just, we can't overlook that. That's a big thing for sure. For sure. But yeah, that whole situation is a mess. And that shows how we are as people. So we need to, maybe we should not be selective on the stuff that's wrong. Just wrong is wrong. We need to not be selective on like who it is or who's doing the behavior at all. Like if it's messed up, it's messed up. We just got to be honest about it, just to be real. But that, I mean, I'm curious, and I want to know you guys' opinion about the kids in drag shows situation. Like, do you think it's okay for kids to attend drag shows? Would you have a problem if your kid attended a drag show? Like, do you find that being an issue, and why not, or why? But what do you think? What do you think, Ryan? Would you?
I would say it's gonna be based preference as a parent. They might be okay with it. Like, I got boys. I'm raising men, so I'm not okay with that. We're not, into nothing feminine, anything like that.
To me, I think the issue would come in depending on the way people's dress. Like, if y'all dress over sexualized and y'all doing all these,
it's not. But they don't really overdress sexualized. They really, dress like celebrities that they really like, more or less.
But celebrities dress sexual. Like a lot of celebrities expose a lot. They show a lot more than usual because they gotta appeal to a specific platform. Or a specific audience. People want to see that junk. I feel like we live in a culture that's highly sexualized. Like, we love sex. It's all over TV. Like, you watch a music video, you gonna see cheeks. You watch a movie, you definitely gonna see some cheeks. You gonna see people taking their shirts off. You gonna see sex scenes, all that stuff. And I feel like that stuff's been in the media for a minute and entertainment for a minute. It's just so normal now that people don't have a problem with it. And it went from like, I remember on TV, back when TV wasn't streaming, back in the like early 90s, it wasn't a lot on that they showed on TV as far as like sex. You know what I mean? Like on shows. It would just be like you really wouldn't tell. Somebody would go in the room, you probably hear it. That's it. Nowadays you seeing shirts come on, half naked. You seeing like they got further and further with it to where now it's just like, all right.
Now you know how to get from first base to third base.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of stuff and it's talked about a lot more now. I feel like it's really heavy in the entertainment industry for sure. But I just feel like that's how society is. Like the porn industry is I just strong. The porn industry in America. I was talking about this with somebody the other day, like to see like what countries watch the most porn. I was like, it gotta be America.
It has to be.
It has to be. And we're for sure the top, one of the tops. I think we're for sure the top. And then, because when I was looking it up, it was talking about most other countries And I was like, why am I not seeing any America on these top 10 lists? And I think it's because people know that America's number one. So they don't even mention it on top countries. It's like, we know the top. But all these other countries, this is the top one for everybody else under America. But I feel like that's crazy too. And that would never.
OnlyFans. Now we got OnlyFans.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's even worse. And they talked about the mental health of being in the porn industry in general and how taxing that is. I was like, dang, I didn't even know that was a thing. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on in that industry in general that's not healthy for people. Like a lot of people end up doing drugs. They end up, doing crazy stuff. Drugs, being used, being underpaid, all that stuff. Not even low sense of self-satisfaction because, you feel like you're objectified. I just think that stuff is big. But a lot of people watch porn and a lot of people they have a porn addiction. So it's like, it's something I feel like that should be addressed as well. But we talk about a lot of stuff in society. Like I know K-Trey, if K-Trey was here, he'd be like, I don't know. I don't know about that one. But that's something I feel like should be addressed because we gotta talk about these things. But I want to see what people was talking about with the. Did anybody mention the drag show?
No one made a comment.
Okay. People don't want to get canceled. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just joking. But another thing I was talking about with my homie the other day is basically somebody said that he was talking to somebody that he knows that follows him on social media. And then that person was like, yo, I don't really mess with you like that. And then that person who was telling me told me like, I thought to myself like, well then why are you following me? Like why are you following me on social media? And I just thought that was a weird thing. Like, would you follow somebody if you don't really mess with them? Like, would you follow them on social media? No? Like it's just
pointless.
Yeah, it's cut off. I feel like if you're following somebody on social media and you don't mess with them, like you don't associate with them, you don't really talk to them, you don't really like them, like you don't vibe with them or nothing like that, I feel like you are following them to hate on what they doing. It gotta be. What other reason would you follow them? You gotta be trying to watch what they doing and over there like wishing for them to fail or something. There has to be something in your mind of why you're following them. 'Cause there's no way that you're watching them and you're like, oh, I appreciate this, what they doing. You got to be hating on something because you don't mess with them. We don't vibe. We don't kick it. I'm not cool with you. I don't want to talk to you like that. So it's like, what are you watching my content for? Like, what are you watching my post for? If we don't mess with each other, that means you see my post, you don't like it on purpose. You're probably trying to see how many people like it. Then you judging it like, oh, look at this post. That's why he only got 5 likes on this post. You know what I mean? Like it gotta be some stuff like that. I feel like if you're in that mindset, because if I tell somebody I don't mess with them, I feel like I'm not gonna follow you. Like it would be different if I'm saying like, I know you, we haven't really talked like that, but I know you and I'm cool with you. That's different. Because that means like, yeah, I know you, I'm cool with you, I can follow you. I'll watch your stuff. I'll support some of your stuff. We just don't really talk like that just because we probably don't talk. But if I say I don't really mess with you like that, that's a whole different situation. If you say you don't mess with somebody, nah.
Lori finally made a response to your drag.
Oh, did she?
Mm-hmm. You think that our kids are just a product of their parents' environments, and if there's parents to do drag or like drag, them to the kids will likely be a part of the culture as well. It's not surprising. And like she said, you're a weirdo if you're following them.
They keeping up to hate.
True. Because that's a lot of toxic energy.
Hold on, which one is she? What is she referring to? Who's keeping up to hate though?
The follower, the random follower.
Oh, the follower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she made a comment. She wanted to let you know that if the dude's just following, he's a weirdo.
Yeah, I think if you're, yeah, it's weirdo behavior if you're following somebody and you're not cool with them. If you say you don't mess with somebody, you're not cool with nobody, and you still follow them, that is weirdo behavior. I agree with you completely on that, Lord. Because like I said, if I follow somebody, I'm not going to, or if I unfollow somebody and I say I don't mess with you, I'm not gonna watch your content. I'm not gonna comment on your stuff. I'm not gonna do none of that. I'm done. And I wouldn't want you to do the same to me. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want you to follow me. I wouldn't want you to comment on my stuff. Like, just, we don't need to talk. We don't need to talk at all. But if you still, I feel like if you find that time, you find those moments to hate, that's wild. If you still following me, you don't mess with me, that's wild.
Nana says, same as when you fall out with someone. What's the point of still being friends on social media and we don't fuck with them?
If you fall out with somebody?
Yeah. What's the point when y'all don't even mess with each other?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that is the same thing. Yeah, if you fall out, like if we fall out, and that's basically what happened in that situation. Like, they were cool at a point, and dude was under the impression that they were still cool. But when he reached out, dude was like, "Oh, I don't really mess with you like that no more." Okay, I was under the impression that we are still cool. We still following each other. We still, like, you still on my page. You didn't unfollow me or nothing. So, you know what I mean? Like, what? I would have thought the same thing. I would have been like, I thought we were still cool. You were still following me and stuff. Especially if they still liking the post and commenting and stuff. That would be even more weird. I'd be like, okay, now you a fan, look. You a fan hater. But I guess some haters do that though. Like, in fan culture, they'll follow people that they don't like just to wait to see how, I guess, to bring them down. I don't like this person, but I'm gonna still watch him. 6ix9ine had a lot of people like that. People did not like 6ix9ine, but they would still watch his videos, watch him talk about, say some crazy stuff, all that stuff. I watched this fight video. I did that. But like, other than that, I wasn't really watching videos of him unless people sent it to me. But like, because I didn't really care for 6ix9ine like that. I didn't care to watch his videos, his music videos. I don't think I ever seen a 6ix9ine music video besides the one that my homie showed me where he was featured on the video. It wasn't even his song, I don't think. But other than that, because I never really mess with his music. I don't really mess with him like that, so I don't need to watch him. But other people, I've seen a lot of people that would just like not like somebody, share their content, talk about them, hate on them, and still follow these type of people. It's like, why are you even following them? If you don't like somebody, don't follow them. Don't even watch. You don't need to watch their content. You don't need to post about their stuff. You don't need to do none of that. None of that. That's why it's crazy. Like, I see all these people say Disney's doing all this stuff in the media right now, showing our strong feminism going on in Disney right now. It's like, okay, if you don't like it, why you don't watch Disney? I mean, I think it's simple. If you keep it simple. We need to keep it simple. Keep it at that. It says some people just don't think or care enough to remove you. I am somebody who, I don't care to remove people, but that's if I don't care for them at all. Like, if somebody's following me and I don't really care for them at all, it's not like, I feel like saying I don't mess with you and not caring for somebody is different for some reason. Like, because if I don't care for somebody, it's just like, I don't care for you. If you here, you just here. Like, I don't even care to beef with you type junk. But if I say I don't mess with you, to me, that's me saying like, I don't mess with nothing you're about. Like, to me, that's low key beefing. We beefing. at that point. Like I don't mess with nothing you post, and I don't do nothing. If I don't care for you, it's like, okay, if you post something and it's cool, I'll be like, oh, that's cool. But if you don't mess with somebody, that's a whole different situation. Like if somebody said they don't mess with me, yeah, I'll be like, yeah, we don't need to talk then. That's all good. That's all good.
Trey said delete.
Delete all that. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk to somebody who says they don't mess with me. But at the same time though, like I said, I don't block people that like I just don't care for. Like I have to really like we have to be on beef in terms of where I just know I'm not gonna talk to you no more. Like if I don't know you, it's like whatever. You could be there. You could watch what I'm doing. I don't care. Trey said as soon as it's weird, he out of there. I believe it though. See, Trey somebody who doesn't like he's gonna be transparent. He doesn't sugarcoat nothing. So I believe him when he says that. Like he's going to be upfront and be like, yeah, you're gone. You're done, bud. You're done. And that's the crazy thing. I was gonna tell Trey today about like honesty and transparency, because that's one thing that Trey is like big on. Trey is big on like honesty and transparency and just being like truthful. Like I just need to tell you everything up front. You just gonna I'm not gonna hide who I am. What you get is what you get. Like this is what it is. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing for you. And I learned a lot, like just observing how Trey is, like just being upfront about everything and taking everything at face value. That just helped me to take a lot more stuff at face value, because sometimes I'll put my own assumptions on things like, dang, like this must be what it is. And then after like seeing how Trey would like explain that junk and be like, nah, this is what they said. You have to take what they said as what they said and not put any extra on it. I was like, that is actually some of the realest, truest junk I've ever heard. Like, what? I said, dang, yeah, that is actually true. So I actually started to apply that junk. Like, I got to actually, like, whatever somebody tells me, I got to take that as, hey, until it's proven otherwise, all right, I got to take that at face value. This is what it is. And I mean, vice versa, though. If I tell somebody something, it's going to be like, this is what it is. Like, what I told you is what I told you. There's no extras to it. As soon as it's weirdo out of here. But yeah, that's facts, though. But I really learned that, and I appreciate Trey for doing that. Trey, I appreciate you, man. You really helped me on that front. And I think you had said something crazy about marriage that I found like that was an interesting perspective, because a lot of people was like talking about like how marriage is nowadays. Like a lot of people aren't getting married, and how it might be due to like the culture being like there being a lot of LGBT in the culture, there being a lot of poly relationships in the culture, and they said that's why marriage is probably declining. But then Trey brought up a good point, because he was like, think about back then and how people were married. And back then, people who were married, like, they would stay in relationships no matter what. Husband cheating on them, they don't like it, they'll stay in a relationship. They getting beat on, they'll stay in a relationship. Like, all this stuff was happening. Abuse, all this stuff was happening, and people was letting it slide and staying in these relationships because they felt like they had to stay in a relationship. But I feel what he was saying about these days it's changed. Is more so people are now standing up for themselves. It's more of a love. People have more love for themselves, and they're fighting for themselves more. So now that we have a place where people are appreciating themselves, then of course you're not going to handle that stuff. A lot more people are moving away from abuse. They're not standing for people who's like constantly cheating on them in relationships. They're not standing for people doing like dirty stuff in relationships anymore. People like completely eject if there's no change. And I was like, that's a really good point, because that's a good argument, to be honest, because you would think of it a certain way. And I feel like that was a really good argument against that, because it's true. We have definitely changed from how it used to be. And a lot more people are like, if I don't mess with this, I don't have to stick around. Like, I can go. That's the world. That's the way the world is. I appreciate that, Jack. Shoot. Yeah. Poly people do get married. You're right. You're right. But I'm just saying in general, people were saying like these are the problems. They were blaming it on all this stuff, but in general, I don't think any of that stuff is the problem. I think it is because people are more so standing up for themselves now. They're not allowing a lot of that messed up stuff to slide. But we can see that reflected throughout the culture. That's why cancel culture exists. That's why all these other things exist, because people are like standing up for messed up stuff. Like, this ain't right. We gonna point over there like, nah, this ain't cool. I ain't messing with it. Let's roll out. It's definitely appreciated though. I think it's good though. I think that's a good thing. People need to stand up for themselves. We shouldn't tolerate nothing that's messed up. Should nobody have to tolerate and deal with stuff like that in general? You should be able to be like, nah, I ain't gonna let stuff like that slide. But letting stuff like that slide is the reasons why people like the Dalai Lama probably would get away with stuff like that. And it wouldn't be said. It would be swept under the rug. Lori said, I wish I had the strength of my grannies, but they ain't give it to me. I may give you 99 chances, but you ain't getting 100.
That is generous.
Yeah, I feel like 99 chances is a lot. To me, once, if I can see like there ain't no change, like you start to show me who you are, and I feel like I start to be like, all right, there's no change. This is you. I'm out. Like, that's how I am now. I'm like, I can try to tell you so much about yourself, but once I tell you to that point where I feel like, no, you telling me who you are. Like, I already told you about yourself and what I don't really mess with. But you saying you'll change, but you're telling me who you are through your actions. Yeah. I'll be like, yeah, I'm out. I'm out. Just like the sharks. Just like Shark Tank. I'm out. Detach from that jug. End up on Snapped if you want to. Yeah, you gotta get them out. If anybody does some messed up stuff, you gotta get them out of there. But another thing, I was with my freaking who was it? It was, oh yeah, I was with one of my cousins the other day, and we were talking about like nicknames, cause he go by a nickname, I go by a nickname. He was like, dang, you think we ever get too old for a nickname? And I was like, I don't think so. I don't think you could ever get too old for a nickname, because even to this day, some of my uncles and aunts have nicknames, and we still call them by that thing. Like one of my nicknames back in the day, people don't call me, but I have a homie. We have another cousin that his name is Pooh Man, and people still call him Pooh Man to this day. I still call him Pooh Man to this day. And same thing with my cousin Twerk. People still call him Twerk to this day. So it's like, I feel like nicknames stick. Nicknames stick depending on who you are. And I guess how much that junk sticks. Cause Snoop, I still call Snoop. And I remember for a while he was telling us to stop calling him Snoop. I was like, man, I'm used to calling him Snoop. Like, you want me to call you by your real name? That's just hard. I ain't used to it. I can't do it. But yeah, I feel like nicknames can stick. Do you feel like what do you feel about people changing their name? Like people should do that or stick with the name that their parents gave them? For me, I don't know. I would say that I think you should definitely change your name if you ain't vibing with your nickname or your real name. If you want to change your name, shoot. I thought about it. I was like, man, maybe I should change my name. Because you didn't get to choose. You didn't get to choose your name, so if you don't like it, why not change your name? People change stuff they don't like. Oh, shoot, nobody calls you. Wait, Lori said, but see, when you see someone once and be like, nope, this ain't going to work, when they looking at you like, dang, you didn't even give me a chance. Nah, see, I'll chill. I'll chill for a minute, but like I said, once I see messed up stuff, I'll be like, nah, I'm good. But I don't even know some of y'all nicknames. Lori, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say that, but I was like, I was going to say that. But yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Last comment. I was going to say that. I was going to say, yeah, people change everything else. So, I mean.
Tiffany said, don't mind other people saying my name, but I just don't want to say it. I'm the same way.
Real name?
Yeah. I don't like my name. I don't mind people saying it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm the nah, I can't lie. When people say my real name, it kind of just like, wait a minute. No. Who is it? Who's calling me? Like it gotta be somebody who is in my direct or my main family that knows me by that name that can call me that. Everybody else, unless I'm at work too. Work can call me that.
And we all call each other Cuzzo.
Yeah. Family. Yeah. Within the family, everybody calls me either Suave or cousin. The only people that call me by my real name, I think, is my immediate family. Pretty much. We all know what Jasmine called me. Just gonna announce that joke on the mic.
You see how light I said?
Yeah, I was like, dang, you just gonna announce it.
See if anybody
announce it for everybody to hear. That? Yeah, that's wild. Oh dang, you got a lot of nicknames. That's a lot of nicknames right there. It's like choose one, choose one. At the end. Yeah. No, but I feel like we had a decent conversation here. You know, I got to chop it up with some of y'all, people who just came in. Ramon just entered the building. But I see you, Ramon. Join in on the next one. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for tapping in. We made it to episode 50. Like I said, we always gonna try to get an episode out every week for y'all. You know, no matter what. Even if one of us is missing. Even if it's just Ryan behind the scenes talking to y'all. No, I'm just kidding. But no matter what, we're going to try it unless we have like a holiday or something. But for the most part, we're going to try to get you guys a video every week. So make sure to tap in with us 7:30 every Tuesday, 7:30-ish, because Trey be late sometimes. But other than that, 7:30, tap in with us. Y'all part of the podcast, as I said. So what y'all say and the comments y'all leave, y'all part of the conversation, and we appreciate y'all for just doing that, sharing the videos, commenting on the Instagram, all that stuff, liking the videos. So yeah, we appreciate y'all for tapping in, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.